Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. I want to thank you so much for being here. This show is all about you, and it's about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. And I am very excited about today's show because I have an extremely special guest. I've been looking forward to having her on the show for a very long time. She's become a new friend and mentor to me, and her name is Marie Diamond. And I'm going to introduce her in just a moment, and you're in for a treat. So wherever you are in the world, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And you're going to want to take notes and pay attention today because Marie has an extraordinary story. Her life is so magical and amazing. And she's also extremely humble and gifted and so giving in so many ways in her life. And she's going to share some amazing nuggets about manifesting so much faster and better in your life, which leads us to today's title of our show. The theme this week is Speed Up Manifestation with Marie Diamond's Methods. Okay? We're going to speed it up for you. Doesn't have to take long. You can move the process along, and it requires you knowing about how to tap into and use everything that's available for you. And she is, without a doubt, the world's master, feng shui master at this. But I'll get into her bio in just a second. Before I do that, let us share what today's intention statement is, which we do every single week on this show. And today is, I have today to open up all the portals of abundance, all of them, not just some of them. Use everything. You know, knowledge is power. And I learned that from Jim Quick. He says that all the time. Knowledge is power. So open up every available avenue, portal, opportunity for you to create the abundance of not just money, but love and happiness and success in your life. And that's why I wanted to bring Marie on, because she's so special and so talented and gifted at what she does. And she has quite a story to share, which I know you want to hear. So let's get into our interview right now and bring on Dame Marie Diamond.
Hello, Diane, and hi, everybody. So excited to be here today.
We're so excited to have you, Marie. And I had the distinct pleasure of working with you privately a couple of weeks ago. And I have got to tell you, it shifted so many things in my life already. And you are so incredibly powerful that I can't wait to share you with our audience today and let them discover you too. So may I share a little bit about you?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So Dame Marie Diamond is global transformational leader, is a motivational speaker, international bestselling author, and world-renowned feng shui and energy master. Marie has been featured in the global phenomena, The Secret. She is recognized around the world as a transformational influencer and business and spiritual mentor to celebrities, CEOs, and top entrepreneurs worldwide. More than 1 million people have studied online and in person with Marie Diamond. She is a serial entrepreneur with online platforms, applications, product lines, multiple corporations, and a publishing house, all dedicated to the transformation of humanity, reaching millions of people around the world. Marie has been knighted for her humanitarian service and is officially a dame. So wonderful. So good to have you here, Marie.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Good. Well, where I'd love to go first is, how did you become an expert at what you do? There's a story there. So will you please share it?
Yes, of course. So, I have to kind of bring you back to where I am born. I'm born in Belgium, in the beautiful city called Bruges. Some of you know that. And so I just grew up in a very, lower class family that had quite some challenges, I'm sure, like many families. And also, I was raised Catholic. So that's kind of, the background. So I was, as a child, very clairvoyant. I could see the energy, I could feel it. I I was just very aware of what was going on, and I could see the past and the future. And I actually thought as a child that everybody had that experience. But I found out very quickly that that was not the case. And I really received the honor to be mentored spiritually by someone at 7 years old and started studying meditation. I was doing my meditations. I started understanding the power of colors. And I was already, guided by a mentor. But everything started really changing when I was 15 years old, when I was run over by a truck and I actually got declared dead. And only after a major request of my mom that just came to the accident place, they started reviving me again after I was already declared dead for a couple of 10 minutes, I think it was. And so I, at the moment of that experience, I had an experience of becoming one with the energy of the universe. And I was guided through the light in front of, I would say, a board of beings, light beings, masters, angels. I don't know what to call it for you, but it really was very clear. They gave me the telepathic message that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people, and I had to go back. So I came back out of the coma a few days later, and I asked my teacher, my mentor already at the time, what did I do wrong? Because I was already meditating, I was already praying, I knew the law of attraction. And I said, I've done everything. I was like a role model at 15 already. And my mentor said, oh, Marie, you have just bad feng shui. And I'm like, what's that? And, remember, I'm from a Western country, had no idea about any of this. And he said, well, it's actually how your environment is affecting you. And I could relate with that because I was staying in a bedroom of my sister. I hated that bedroom, didn't sleep there, had nightmares constantly. I would try to not be in that room at all, as least amount of time I could. And so I asked my parents to move into another room and if I could have the ability to decorate it myself. And so I painted it in different colors, the colors that were given by my mentor for me. I put out paintings, and suddenly my life started shifting. I went from being very alone, being seriously bullied at school, till I becoming accepted by many people, had many friends. From being very lonely, I also got my first boyfriend that actually was the hottie of the town. And so suddenly, I was just, something shifted for me. And I knew it was not my meditation, it was not any insight, it was just changing my environment. And that is how my journey into feng shui really, and into knowing that my environment is affecting who I am. That's how it all started.
It's such a good story. I want to go back and touch on the board of beings. What did that look like for you? What did you actually visually see or feel?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it was like they were sitting down. There was very clearly there were nine of them. I remember that. And one of them was just speaking. It was like the one in the middle. And there were men and women. I mean, it was there was not like oh men or something. I just felt there were men and women. It's not like I could see like the difference there, but there were beautiful robes of a white energy, like shining golden light.
Mm.
And I was standing there in all humility, in my light body, right? So there were these beings were bodies of light, beings of light. And I didn't feel them really so much as angels, but more later on, I understood they were like ascended masters for me. And so that's kind of what I experienced. And it was just very clear, and I still see it very clearly in my inner mind. And then they just like the words were said, and I was just turned around and went back and kind of got through dimensions, because that's kind of before I got that, I got like through dimensions. Like if you would take the airplane and you would go like to levels of the sky, yeah, like clouds and clouds and clouds, right? So that was like the experience, and then coming back was the same thing. And then suddenly I was back in my body, and I remember putting my hands on the sheet on the linen of the bed in the hospital because I was in ICU, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can feel something," because I was present, but I felt I was not in a physical body for sure. And then when
Wow.
I felt the linen again, like, oh my God, I'm back in my body. And I was touching my body, like, oh, because I knew I did not have a physical body on that other side. Yeah.
Wow. That's so fascinating because you hear stories about people who've crossed over and then come back and to have that vivid experience. And I'm guessing when you were on the other side, that the beings and the experience was like benevolent love. Like you got your mission given to you, but it was all in love. They were
Yeah. It
yeah.
was like, I really felt the difference of the love I experienced with my family and my parents. It was this etherical love, right? It was just a deep peace. I cannot
Mm,
explain more than the love was peaceful. The love was harmony. It's like, you know, now I know that, really when I'm like, holding my children in my arms, it's just this total unconditional love for them, and I feel so peaceful and so in harmony. And that was like not just holding that, but it was everywhere. It was in me, it was everywhere. But it was really interesting because before I went to that area of light, I was actually in the ambulance, and my mother had come into the ambulance with the ambulance, the nurse, and it was a male nurse. And so I was hovering over my body, and I saw that this young man tried to resuscitate me. And I remember having very clearly the thought, wow, he's such a cutie, right? Because he had like blonde curly hair. And later on, and I described that to my mother because she was not with me in the accident. She came in later and said, "What did you do in the ambulance?" And I said, "And who's this guy?" And I described him till details and like how he was, what he was wearing. She's like, "But you could not know that because you were dead. You were really not reacting. You were flatlined." Yeah. And I
yeah.
said, "No, no, no, I was there." I said, "Are you crying hysterically?" And so I really could see that. And then I was like, "Okay, I've seen that." And I was gone. Right. So I know that it was true that I experienced an out of body experience because my mom could really, confirm all the details I had.
Right, right. Because you were laying there dead, pronounced dead, and you had that different view of
Yeah.
it, the aerial view of it, the outside view. That's so phenomenal. And that you have such vivid clarity of the memory, even all these years later.
Yeah.
It's like that's what we have moments like that in our lives where it doesn't matter how much time goes by, you can just remember every detail vividly. You needed that experience to be that vivid to remember, because look at how where it's taken you in your life. You had to remember that mission that was given to you,
Yeah,
which
so
yeah,
true. Yeah, I
yeah,
have to vividly remember it. And at 15, I had no idea what to do with that, right? I mean, right now I would be 15, I would go on TikTok and I would go on YouTube and explain everything, or Instagram, right?
yeah.
So I had like no idea what to do with it. But I remember asking my mentor, I said, "What do I do?" And he said, "Just ask every day what to do with it."
Mm,
So every morning I would wake up, and I still do. I wake up and I'm thinking, I am here to enlighten more than 500 million people. That was the sentence. Show me how. I was asking the universe, God, show me how. So that day could be being friendly to a person, could be helping somebody that fell down, it could be inspiring somebody. I even had calculated if I would turn 90, and if I would make a change to one person a day, how much people I had made a difference to. And so like, wow, that's a pretty good number. But at that time, I couldn't even foresee that I could um, make a difference through television or through books or through this beautiful interview where you can, at one moment, can reach thousands and millions of people at the same time. So that was something that was not in my comprehension yet at that time.
yeah. I love that you said that. And that is a key for all of the audience listening or watching this. Marie, you ask every day, how can I show me the way? And you're right. And you this is I talk about this a lot. You know, we are born with the ability to walk. We are, but we need to catch up to the knowledge. The ability is all there, but we're not ready to walk when we're born, right? You weren't ready at 15 to touch the lives of a half a billion people. You just weren't, but you caught up to the knowing, and the path got revealed to you. So I love that you ask that question every day. I'm going to start doing that too. Because I meditate every day and I journal every day, and sometimes I ask, and I have my beautiful vision board, totally guided by you. But I don't know that I'm asking the specific question every day. Show me the path to touch the lives of a billion people, because that's my number. And you just gave me what a great tool, because now I'm going to ask that every day. I love that. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
I see that when we look at The Secret, that
Yes.
how I ended up in a movie like this as somebody who is totally unknown, right? There were so
Yes.
many super well-known people there, and I'm a totally unknown. I end up in The Secret, coming from Belgium, and knowing that The Secret has touched more than 500 million people's life already. Then it's like I always say, check. It's like I got that one. Right now, I go and think bigger than that. But it was like I had to follow a journey, and I just followed, and I always had tremendous trust in
Mm.
what I received as guidance. So
Yeah.
it was. And probably because of the experience I had at 15. So when any idea comes in, do this, do this, do this, I am so trusting that guidance that I don't deny it, I don't ignore it, I don't doubt it. It's always been like, well, hey, if I got back for this, yeah, whatever is told me to do, I'm doing it. So there's a total trust in that.
There is, and that's another powerful message and lesson, to trust. And I think that's a message for everybody. Don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the images, the messages, however you receive the dreams. The texts, the book that drops. The connections. Don't ignore that, because that is the universe communicating with you, guiding you down that path.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. So,
That is so true what you're saying, that I asked every day, and then I listened how I received things. Yeah.
yeah.
And the receiving can be in so many forms. And if you're not 100% sure that what you receive as an idea or as a message, ask again and say, is this what I need to listen to? Right. So
Oh,
sometimes things come to me and I'm like, yeah, really? I'm like, okay, universe, please confirm this for me. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Oh,
it's like when you're on a computer and you're setting in a new program, right? The computer asks, are you sure? Right? So, yeah, so I always ask. And if I'm not 100% sure, I keep asking till I'm like, okay, I got the second message. I got a third message. Okay, I got it now. It's
yeah.
clear. I'll go for it.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Ask again. Get that validation. Oh, this is so, so wonderful. Okay. So, share your story about how the secret happened.
Yeah. Well, at a certain moment, I was actually teaching in San Francisco, and I woke up one morning very clearly with the voice of my spiritual ascended master, Benjamin, and he said, "In 3 weeks, you have to be here. Move in 3 weeks from Belgium to here." So I called my husband and I said, "Sweetheart, you always want to live in America. Start packing. In a week, I'm home. We're going to go back in 3 weeks to live in America." So he said, "Okay, start packing." So he's a very supportive husband, right? And so 3 weeks later, I went back, and that is when a series of of, I would say, steps,
Coincidences?
yeah, were like unfolding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one is that as I was teaching a seminar, Marcy Shimoff, who is one of the great authors of the Chicken Soup for the Soul, and also later on in The Secret, came to me, and she became a student and a client of mine. And so I was like, okay, that's wonderful. And so as I was there in San Francisco, I got pregnant. And I got these dreams very clearly of a girl that says, hey, mommy, I'm coming to you. And
Oh,
I want to be born in Santa Barbara. And you need to find for me the wife of Jack Canfield. She has the keys of time and space to move to Santa Barbara. So I had no idea who Jack Canfield was. You have to understand, I just moved to America. I had no idea about the self-development. The first person I really met that meant something in that area was Marcy Shimo. So I called her and said, Marcy, do you know somebody's called Jack Canfield? And she said, oh, that's my mentor and business partner. And I said, well, I'm not interested in him. I want to know his wife. And she's like, wow, that's so interesting. So she called her, and, to make the story short, about 2 months later, I mean, meanwhile, I was like 7 months pregnant. I was having lunch at her place. And that's where I met Jack Canfield. And he showed me around the house. I said, oh, I want to get some tips on feng shui. I said, oh, this is going on in your life and this is going on. So I was like reading his home and reading him. And he's like, oh my God, can you please come and do the feng shui of my home? And I said, yeah, of course. And literally, as I was having lunch with them, my husband called and said, I just found a house a mile away from this people's home, and it's for rent. And that is the house that ultimately we moved in, and that's where my baby was born.
mm.
And Jack was like, oh, I want to be mentored by you. I want to work with you. And then he invited me to the Transformation Leadership Council. That was an organization for top transformation leaders and speakers. And I said, but Jack, nobody knows about me. And I think at the time, 200 people in America already had come to my seminars. I was very at the start, right? And he said, but no, Marie, I need somebody from Europe in this council. Please come. So I went there. And the third time we came together, that is when the movie The Secret was filmed. Now, I had a dream very clearly, and I'm always getting very clear dreams, that I would meet a woman with half blonde hair, a little bit like me and you, and that she was from Australia, and I had to pay attention. So when we was in the meeting, a woman came to sit next to me, and she said, "Hi, I'm Rhonda Byrne from Australia, and I'm doing these interviews for a movie called The Secret." And I said, "I pay attention. Tell me, tell me." And so I did the interview, and the really interesting was I had made a vision board a few years before, and on my vision board I had put, "I'm going to be in a movie seen by millions of people that will transform the world." And I had put a fake Oscar statue on it with my name on it, and I put 2005. I thought that I need a few years. And so that was the interview, and I had never been in front of a camera at that point. So I was totally virgin in television, right? So she did the interview, and she said, "Oh my God, this is so interesting. You speak about something that nobody talks about. You will be definitely in a movie." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, right?" And so that is when I got in the movie The Secret. And that is exactly what I did. I practiced my work. I asked every day, show me how. And at that time, nobody knew that The Secret was going to be that big. And it was at a certain moment, The Secret, the producer was very stuck. Nothing was moving forward. And she asked me to come and help her. So I did a feng shui and the energy work with her to clear the vibration. And that is when everything started rolling after our meeting. But by then, 50% of the people in The Secret were already my clients. And so that's why they gave me the nickname The Secret Behind the Secret.
Yes, and you were the secret behind the secret. You really were. Well, I remember seeing you then and having, an awareness of you, but then, of course, finding you years later. That's such a fabulous story that the first time you're ever interviewed is in that.
I
That's
know.
amazing.
I had
Amazing.
no idea what to do in front of a camera at that point.
Right, right. I mean, I want to talk about your magical life, but before we do that, I want to share with the audience a little bit about what you do and certainly the impact that you've had on my life. And one of the things was understanding that there are multiple levels and aspects to the law of attraction. So I know you share three levels. Can you share them? Talk about
Yes,
that.
yes. Yes, of course. So most people, they look at the law of attraction from the level of using the mindset to really working with your goals and asking to the universe. But my feng shui master, when I first studying with him in the early 90s, told me that there were three parts to the law of attraction. The first part is what people would call your destiny or your karma. Some people would call it your spiritual luck. So when your soul comes and incarnates into this body that you have, it already has a law of attraction basic package. It already has talents that you have, perhaps some challenges, some karma lessons you have to go through. You are born in a certain family, you have ancestors, a certain country that you're born with. You have chosen, certain experiences to go through. And that is your spiritual luck. Now, can you change some of that? Yes, of course, through meditation, through clearing your karma, through taking decisions. Like I was born in Belgium and I made the decision to live in a different country. So my destiny was going to change because of that. So you have some decisions that you make, but that destiny is responsible for 33.3% of the results of your law of attraction. The second part, and that is where most people are focusing on, and I would say 99% of the people in The Secret were talking about that, and that is that you have a mindset that you need to focus to make it very positive. And you need to have emotionally, you have to feel gratitude and love because the law of attraction is also the law of love. You also need to take action because that's part of the law of attraction. So it's your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions that makes your human experience. So we call it your human luck. Now, many self-development teachers will say that's 100% what you need to do. Now, my feng shui master said it's not responsible for 100% of your results. It's only responsible for one third of your results. And that's why a lot of people do the law of attraction and they're feeling they're hitting a ceiling. Yeah. It's like things are not manifesting. And that's also what I experienced when other people from The Secret, like Jack Canfield, John Gray, Bob Proctor, came to me and said, like, we're stuck. We're stuck with what we're teaching because you can only gain a certain level of the results. And then there is a last part, and I call that the missing link in the Western world. They haven't been paying attention to that. And that is what they call the earth luck. It's your environment. It is where you live, it's where you work, where you sleep. Everything around you is actually affecting your subconscious mind. And that is happening 24 hours a day because you're sleeping, you're working, you're living. If you look at the time, that's about 24 hours. And everything around you, and I call it like a three-dimensional vision board. So
Mm.
everything you see, everything that you're feeling, everything that you are positioning yourself in, the colors that you have, it's all giving you frequencies. It gives you all the time a message. And it's possible that that message is just opposite of what your goals are. Perhaps it's not supporting what your mindset is. So, and the wonderful thing is, for creating a positive mindset and feel always loving and gratitude and taking the right actions, it takes a lot of discipline. But when you are using the energy around you and that the feng shui masters for 4,000 years have been focusing on, it's quite an easy thing because it's changing your desk, it's hanging something else, it's putting some other colors, it's adding the five elements around you. What it does, it actually gives you a foundational field of the law of attraction. And on top of it, it starts changing your mindset and how you feel and the actions you will take. And ultimately, it changes your destiny. And that is what I experienced at 15. I moved to another place, I hanged other things out, changed the colors, and suddenly my destiny had changed. Also, my thoughts changed. I was so much more optimistic. I felt so much more happy. I felt more gratitude. And I was going from like a lot of procrastination, to be honest, into being very disciplined and moving forward in my studies. And so, your environment is the easiest part of the law of attraction, but with the greatest influence because it affects all the other parts.
That's such powerful information that so many people don't know. I know for me personally, studying you and following you, I just love everything that you do. It really, really matters because everything is energy, and of course the flow and so many factors. Obviously, the karmic blueprint we came in. Some of the things you talked about, our spiritual luck. Things like that. Of course, it's only part of it to do that, and that the environment, you know, we can feel it. You can tell when you go into a room or a place if the energy feels good or not. You can just feel it, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, all of this matters. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit deeper about that because you everybody has their own success direction based on when they were born and where they were born too, right? Or is it just the birth date?
Just a birthday.
Okay.
So the wonderful thing what you are sharing, that to speed up your manifestation, a lot
Yes.
of manifestation is not happening because your environment is actually not aligned with
Yeah.
your goals that you have. And so when you bring in that physical level, yeah, that earth luck energy, that is where things become fast and effortless.
Yeah.
And so, how can you start with that? So, the first thing is you can go to the website marydiamond.com, or you can go to get my free app that is on the Google Play Store or on the App Store. And you just put in Marie Diamond. And so, what you're getting is you will be able then to put in your gender and your birthday, and it will say reveal your energy number. So there are 9 numbers that we're working with, and every number, here's like energy number 4, you will have a compass. And when you look at the compass, you will see there is a success direction. Now, that can be north, for somebody else south, for somebody else southwest or northeast. That success direction is something you have from the moment you came in. Your soul is really aligned, it's part of your energetic DNA, is aligned with that direction. So you need to then take your compass and hold it in the middle of the room that or you're sleeping in, where you're working, or where you're living, like your living room or the family room.
Yes.
You look at where is that, like here for this number, it's like right here on the wall, can be a corner, can be on the window. So you look what is there at this moment. The first thing you do is always make sure you declutter that area, because you cannot have any chaos there. Less is more. So if you have a lot of things there, just take it all out and then check out what you can place there that is aligned with your goals. So check out your goals that you have, and then start looking for books, for items, for symbols that are aligned with that success and money energy, because success is both career and your money flow.
Yeah.
Let's say you have in that area dried flowers. So, well, then don't be surprised your success is kind of drying up. Yeah.
Mm.
So, if you have a garbage bin there, well, then everything goes in the garbage. So, but there have been so many times that I come there and I see the images that people have there, and these images are just not inspiring you, but they're also, you have to think that direction is a 24 hours demand to the universe, like a
Mhm.
portal of request. So even if you're not requesting and asking, your home can still ask to the universe. So that's why when you start using that your energy will start going faster and effortless, because you think sometimes about success and about your goals, then life takes over. But what if your home can activate it all the time? So in your office, you will look at your professional success. In your bedroom, it's more about your love success.
Mhm.
And in your family room or living room, it's more about your personal success and your family success. And so you start placing their things. And so when you go to the marydam.com and to the app, you will get some extra information to what to do and what to place there to activate your success direction. But for example, your vision board. Yeah, that
Mhm.
is where I had put my vision board in 2001 with the little quote, I'm going to, be in this movie. And I always take time to look at my vision board and read it as much as I can and kind of make it more interactive, like, oh, hello, and like, oh, this is what I need to do. And I'm standing in front of my vision board with a lot of joy and gratitude and passion because it's like, this is what I want in my life. So your vision board is a really good place. You can put books on success. If you have awards, I'm sure you have that, Diane. You can put your awards, you can put certificates, you can put anything you feel like is affecting your success and your money flow. So that's the first thing you need to do.
That's so powerful. And yes, I've done that. I am my success direction is west. And when I moved into this place, only a few months ago, and oh my gosh, I could feel the energy as soon as I walked in, that it was good energy. And I mean, the universe put me literally with a view of my future property that I know I'm going to have. Like, there was so many great things that happened, but I was very, very intentional, watched everything that you did and downloaded everything I could and did that. And I had award. I won Life Coach of the Year last year. And so I had that out, but it wasn't in the success direction. And
Wow.
I didn't have any of my other awards and certificates out. I didn't have my book out. I didn't. And so I moved all of that into a display in the success direction. And of course, my vision board too. So, um,
Beautiful.
yeah, such a good tip and so easy to do. It's
It
so
is.
easy to do,
It
right?
is. And the great thing is that when you start applying this method that I put together for you, is that it starts working literally within 9 minutes. I had people having calls after 10 minutes. It starts working at 9 minutes, 9 days, 9 hours, 9 weeks. But for sure, within 9 months, life has changed.
Mm.
You will be or in a different career, you will go to another level. I have seen people totally getting everything that they actually have been asking for years, but it couldn't come. It could not manifest because where does a manifestation happen? It manifests on the planet, on the earth, right?
Yeah.
Where we are. So it manifests where you are working, where you're sleeping, where you're living. It's not just happening in your mind. So that's why you need to add that last 33.3%. And I've seen people that just changed just that little thing, right? And moved their desk or so they decluttered. And then, like, these miracles start happening. Now, these miracles are not happening because of this, but it was already ready to land, it was ready to come in, but your environment was just not in alignment. And then some universe, like, oh, finally, I can drop that beautiful gift in her life because that is what feng shui does. It opens the space and it
Yes.
aligns the space for you to manifest.
Wow, that's so good. And ding, 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 what was going off in my mind? 9 minutes, hours, 9 days, not within 9 months. And the 33.3% is also nine. And the
It
numbers are 1 through 9. There's so much alignment with it. It's so powerful. I've never heard you say that about the 9 minutes to 9 months. That is so good.
I know, and I've seen this literally happening that because of course there's many levels to this, right? But that I remember there was this actor, and he said to me, Marie, for a year, my agent has not come with any proposal. And he was an actor that, at that time, and I'm talking about 15 years ago, made several $1 million per movie. So he said, it's like, since I moved in this house, everything is quiet. Yeah. No phone call anymore. And I said, well, let's look at your success direction, right? And so I looked at his success direction, and literally that was where the tower of the cat was. Yeah. So it's like, the cat could climb up on that tower. And also, in another room was, where the cat had his little dirty area.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, your success is literally, peed on
Getting
by the cat, right?
pooped and peed on. Yeah.
And it's like the cat is your success. And said, yeah, that's like what I work with all the time. And so I said, let's move this out, And so I start putting some things out. He had some awards. So I made this little success corner for him. And literally, as we were doing that, about 20 minutes later, his agent called and said, there is this major movie, and the first person that was contacted dropped out. And I just got 10 minutes ago a phone call from the producer and said, oh, I've been thinking about this actor. Is he still acting? Because I haven't heard from him. So, literally 10 minutes later, the producer was getting his name. Yeah. And 10 minutes later, the agent called him. And about a month later, he got the role, and he made within a year $1 million for
Oh,
it.
such a
So
great story.
it was a shift of $1 million. Yeah. And so I'm not saying that will be for everybody. It depends on your destiny, on what you do in life, right? But I've seen people getting promotions the day after. I've seen people getting a call from the bank like, yes, I know you were not approved for this mortgage, but we looked at it again, and yeah, we found a solution. I mean, I have heard so many amazing things happening very quick because it was already present to come. It just could manifest yet because the environment was telling a different story.
Yeah. This is so powerful, Marie. I mean, my gosh, I could talk to you all day. But what I want to say to everybody is, because now I personally know you, and I've worked with you, and you are truly one of the most magical people with one of the most magical lives I've ever heard. And I know you had your challenges and things that happened to you to get you to this, but you're just an extraordinary, exemplary example of how to live from love and gratitude and appreciation, and you use your life so beautifully, and you're a dame, like, let's call it what it is, and you're truly the most humble, kind-hearted person
Thank
in the
you.
world. You just are so generous, and I'm so grateful for that. I want to ask you two more questions. The first question is, I want to talk about the importance of color. What, it's about the environment, and we talked about numbers in your success direction, but can you just touch on color, with the importance of color?
Yeah. So, you can look at life in white and black, right? So
Mm,
that is yin and yang. It's nothing wrong with that. But I love to add some colors. I think if you look at nature, nature is not white and black, right? It is all in colors. Now, there are 24 colors that are actually what I call quantum colors, that when you work with these colors are actually speeding up the manifestation. And I love the colors, by the way, that you have for I Have Today, and for our name, and the beautiful pink and rose wave, because they actually stand for love. Yeah.
mm,
And I love that you're also using magenta, that stands for harmony. And so there are certain colors that really are supporting you by placing them in certain areas. For example, if you want to have more abundance, you place gold items or gold looking items in the southeast section of your office. Also surround yourself with a lot of gold. Yeah, and it can be like your certificates in a golden frame, or that's why awards are mostly in gold, or you have the golden medal, because it shows that you are the best in your field. Yeah,
mhm.
so the
Yeah.
best, the expert, the top quality. So surround yourself with a lot of gold, and then you will see that people start seeing you as top quality. Yeah, not that you have to wear it all the time, but just like I even have like a golden looking glasses on, right? So because then people are like, wow, she's the authority, she's the best in her field. Um, you can also work, for example, with beautiful blue. Like you have like this here, a little bit of blue on it. I have a lot of colors on me. Right? I always do that so that that brings a little bit of wonderful vibration. But a beautiful royal blue. So, for example, this color, yeah,
Yes.
is
Yeah.
actually, and I have this as my agenda. Yeah,
Yes.
and that is a color of success. And I'm
Hmm.
talking out about ego success, but about spiritual success, about
Yeah.
soul success. So these colors are nothing to do with the ego vibration, but all with the soul vibration. Because
Mm.
ultimately, for me, um, using the colors is to enlighten your life, to bring your energy to a higher frequency. But for example, if you want to have more success, then you can put a royal blue item like this. Yeah, you can actually put it in your success direction. Just one item. It can be a candle, can be. So I put always my agenda in my success direction when I'm not working, so that there's always something of that color there. So there are 24 colors to work with, and based on your energy number, there are some colors that are stronger for you. Yeah. So
Mm.
I love
Yeah.
the fact that you're wearing something white because one of your strongest colors is white. And for the best colors for your relationship are the pinks. So I think you did perfectly and intuitively correct based
Ah,
on.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for the validation. Yeah. Yeah, this has been our color scheme for a while, and we just launched a program, and we used a lot of gold and silver in it, and it's a gold star is the symbolism for it. So and it's been good. So and I have today is all about love. It's all about, intention. And so thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
All right. So the final question for you is, how do you live the I have today way, which is intentionally in the present moment? What is that for you?
Well, I start today, like I shared with you, like I have today to enlighten someone. I have today to make a difference because I have a big impact number and I feel like I have that day to do this. I don't know if I have another day. I don't know because I had no idea when I was 15 that I would have another day. So for me, I'm living fully every day with passion, with love, and with kindness. And so for me, I have that day to make a difference. Yeah, I have today to make a difference, an enlightened impact, as much as I can from the beginning of the day till the end of the day. I have today to enlighten you.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I know you have a free gift. You mentioned it, so we're going to share it with the audience right now. You wanted to offer them the free energy report,
Correct. Yes.
and
So
Kelly's got,
yes,
yeah.
please go there and put in your birthday and your gender, and then you will actually, get a report that you can start working with exactly what I've been sharing.
Yes, yes. And please follow Marie. So it's mariediamond.com/energy number, or you can download the app. I downloaded the app too. So,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
the will be easier for you to work with the report. Yeah, but
yeah.
you don't have the report in the app, so you need to do
Okay.
both. Yeah.
Well, get the report. The report is amazing. Yeah. I could talk to you all day, Marie. I'm so grateful and honored that you were here spending time with us that I have today. And I know you and I will be speaking again and be on this journey together. I love having connections with other amazing, extraordinary women who have a big vision and an impact in the world. And so I'm so humbled that I get to share part of my life with you. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and thank you for what you are doing and to inspire people. I know you have gone also through your journey, and I want to acknowledge that. And it's always wonderful to meet other sisters of light. So thank you so much for coming in my life too.
Thank you for that. All right. You have a beautiful today, and we will see you soon. Okay.
Okay.
Take care. Bye bye. Oh, she's so amazing. I hope all of you wrote all that down and you are going to be a raving fan of Dame Marie Diamond, just like I am, and utilize the God-given environment that's all around you to up-level and speed up your manifestations in your life. Stop blocking the things that you want and desire in your life, because that represents a third of your manifestation ability. So it's so extraordinary and it's so powerful. And I mean, there's so many things that I loved. That it can happen in 9 minutes, all the 9 connections with the 33.3%, never hearing that before. So, oh my goodness. All right, let me just ground for a second and let you also know that we have a gift for you too. And that is the Mindset and Manifestation Challenge. So if you are feeling stuck, definitely tap into Marie's resources with using feng shui, but tap into this as well. And this gives you some of the science behind where your limiting beliefs come, how the real manifestation process does work, how you can pivot and turn around your thoughts, your feelings, and your language in literally 20 seconds. And that's at mindsetandmanifestationchallenge.com. So find that there. Okay. All right. So we are going to move into our mantra meditation. And what we do every week or every episode is we take a culmination of what we talked about today and give that to you in a powerful mantra meditation so that you can leave the show feeling better at the end of it than you did at the beginning. You can feel the shifts on an emotional, a spiritual, a mental and cellular and physical level, so that you leave this person with an actual new identity, an elevated identity. Isn't that so powerful? And this works. So trust the process and let's do this together. So I'm going to ask you to uncross your legs, put them flat on the floor. Same thing with your hands. Place them down on your lap if you're feeling grounded, or turn them up if you want to receive more energy. I always turn them up to receive more. In fact, my meditation this morning, I was chanting, I receive, I receive, I receive. What a gift today you received by experiencing Marie Diamond, right? What a gift. Did you not learn so much from her? She's so extraordinary. So place your hands on your lap, face them up today, feet flat on the ground. And what we're going to do is we are going to take in we're going to breathe in for the count of 4. We're going to hold it for 4. And then we're going to breathe out for 8. And when you blow out, I want you to blow out like you're blowing out birthday candles and get all that air. Get any trapped emotions or negative energy out of your body. Breathe it out. We're going to do that 2 times and then just listen to the words. So here we go. You ready? Close your eyes and breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4 and breathe out for 8. Do it one more time. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4 and breathe out for 8. Just listen to the words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to open up all the portals to abundance. Anything and everything that I want. I get to tap into the 3 levels of the law of attraction that Marie Diamond spoke about so eloquently. The spiritual luck, the human luck, and of course the earthly luck. All of that representing 33.3%. And that all these things work together. I have today to live in gratitude and appreciation and trust that the universe and all the elements have my back. That anything I've ever desired in my entire life is mine. It's mine. I just have to catch up to the knowing of that. And I'm going to use the power of vision boards, of intention, of gratitude, of the environment, of using my success directions, colors, and all the elements that are available to me to manifest what I want. Because I get to want what I want, and I get to have what I want simply because I want it. No limits, no restrictions. As Marie shared, some of the things are happening within 9 or 10 minutes. A 9 or 10 minute, a one shift turned into $1 million opportunity in only 10 minutes. What's possible for me? What's possible in my world? What are the things that I want more than anything in this world that perhaps I've been blocking unintentionally? I have today to clear the pathway and open up those portals to abundance. I'm going to ask myself every day, what can I be doing? How can I be doing this? Show me the way, show me the signs, and then questioning that and say, is this really it? Get the validation and asking for the signs. It's all possible. It's all available. It's all mine right here, right now. I have today to love my life and get anything and everything I want. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. This is Diane Forster at I Have Today. Be sure to follow me on social media at Diane Forster Official. And you can also catch this show as a podcast on all the podcast platforms at I Have Today with Diane Forster. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.